Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabimpressions. Today we're talking about Sifu. It's a very punishing but satisfying martial arts action game that will turn some heads for its solid gameplay and presentation. But do some of the lingering issues hold back? Let's talk about it. Sifu was developed by Sloclap and published by Microids. I want to thank them for the review copy, however all thoughts will be my own. The game released on February 8th, with those who purchased the deluxe version being able to play it 2 days earlier. It's currently going for $39.99 US and will be available on PlayStation consoles and Epic Game Store. The Steam version is said to come in a year or so. If I had to tag Sifu with some genres to sum it up, I'd have to say it's a beat-em-up fighting game from an indie team with RPG and roguelike elements. Sifu is the story of a young kung fu student on a path for revenge, hunting for the murderers of his family. One against all, he has no allies and countless enemies. He has to rely on his unique mastery of kung fu as well as a mysterious pendant to prevail and preserve his family's legacy. If you're interested in any of the footage for today's episode, there's links in the description to my Let's Play YouTube channel and Twitch channel where we live stream it all. I would love to see you guys there. The main gameplay features of Sifu are definitely going to be the combat and the roguelike progression. Let's start with the combat. Through various stages, you'll be taking on waves and waves of enemies via martial combat. You have fast and heavy strikes, both of which can be used to create combo strings. You have a couple of ways to defend yourself. First, you can block. You can hold your own against almost every attack in the game with blocking, but you'll take stature damage, and if you accumulate too much too fast, kind of like a stun meter in a traditional 2D fighting game, so you'll get broken and left vulnerable for a bit. Then you have directional dodging and spot dodging. Kind of think of it like Super Smash Bros, where you have to hold block, then move in a direction to do a leaping side dodge, while pressing up or down lets you completely avoid high attacks and low attacks. So, you have an HP bar and a block stature bar. There's no stamina here, just simply react and use your moves accordingly. Oh, but there is a focus meter that gains progress during combat. Fill it up enough and you can pull off different moves that greatly turn the tide of battles. So, that's the bulk of combat. There's some other stuff like weapons and throwables also to mention, but let's move on to the story progression and roguelike aspects. After the tutorial, you're taken to the hub where you'll prepare before embarking on missions. Here you can look at your lore board from stuff you picked up, upgrade your skill tree, and practice fighting with the dummy. Once ready, simply choose the first stage and go from there. Stages are pretty linear for the most part. New setting, waves of enemies with varying AI and capabilities, and then a boss at the end. Through multiple runs of a stage, however, you can find items that unlock shortcuts and different routes to make things easier in the future. Here's how the roguelike feature works and what makes Sifu really stand out. Every time you die in the game, you age. It's more complicated than that, but basically with each death, it goes up, and the more you die without any significant progress, the ages goes up quicker, and you'll game over after a certain age and specific death amounts. You start at age 20, for example, and if you end the stage at age 30, you'll start the second stage at age 30 and go from there. You can replay the earlier stages to try and complete it with a lower stage, but with a lower age, but you'll lose all your current stage progress. You gain experience within stages and use them to unlock new abilities. These can be defense and offensive abilities. You can unlock them for the run temporarily or dump enough experience to unlock it permanently even if you start the game over, which is very nice. There's also statue upgrades where you can find within stages that give you other semi-permanent rewards. Some skills are locked via age, but it's not all bad. The more aged you are, the more damage you do, but in turn your health bar is also reduced. Let's move on to the graphics and design. The game looks great. It's smooth, very cinematic, and there's a lot of references to movie franchises if you pay enough attention. For example, there's the Old Boy corridor fight scene, nods to Bruce Lee movies, Kill Bill, Jackie Chan flicks, and for some reason the brutality just makes me think of Tony Jaa movies and the Raid series. Sounds and music are spot on. Music is satisfactory, but the sound effects definitely elevate the experience. The voice acting is average, but the sounds for punches and weapons breaking on enemies are completely solid. Okay, time for the pros and cons. What did I like and what would I change? Starting with the good stuff, the game flows and feels like you're playing a martial arts kung fu movie. The controls and mechanics will definitely take some time to get used to, but once you do it, it's extremely satisfying. Keyboard and mouse are okay. They're basically average, but I highly recommend using the controller. Everything has so much style to it. Each stage has its own charm, and replaying them to get a better score and ending age is what's going to keep people playing and perfecting the game. So what about the bad stuff? I can easily nitpick here and talk about how hair clips through models or ragdoll physics randomly throw bodies around, but this is an indie game and I kind of expect that. But what's really almost a deal breaker for most people is going to be the camera in this game. As mentioned before, it's very cinematic with the way the camera hovers very closely behind your character over the shoulder. The second you get backed up into a wall, there's a lot of small areas here, it becomes very annoying to fight around. Enemies don't wait, they'll all attack you at once. And not being able to see all of them and sometimes not even see yourself really sucks. You do get pinned down a lot. Another thing to mention is the game has no difficulty setting. This isn't necessarily a complaint for me, but rather just a warning for those who want to pick it up. It's a very difficult game with a high learning curve, trial and error combat, and you'll definitely be replaying stages a lot. Time for my final thoughts and verdict. Sifu is a very solid 3D beat 'em up. The combat system is very punishing, but has a high skill base. Pulling off moves, dodging, using the environment to its fullest is when the game really shines the most. It's rewarding and it's just as fun to watch as it is to play. It's not that long, but thanks to the difficulty and age mechanic, you'll be replaying stages to get better and better. It feels like a lot of love has been put into it, and as I mentioned before, if you're a fan of martial arts movies, Kill Boy, Kill Bill, did I say Kill Boy? Old Boy, Kill Bill, The Raid, Jackie Chan flicks, and you can put up with the camera, then this is a must-play game for sure. I'm giving Sifu a 75% recommendation. It's short, straight to the point, with amazing gameplay. Alright, gonna end this one here. If you enjoyed, leave a like, it helps a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe for daily videos. Head on over to my Let's Play channel to see the gameplay, and come by Twitch to hang out with us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.